So, before I get into all of my stuff and the stuff that's been going on, this is primarily for those law officials and investigators that I know are looking into stuff. You need to be aware that in Erling, Iowa, about, I don't know, 3 or 4 nights ago, this dude ended up shooting and killing his mistress. Not his girlfriend or what, it was his mistress, and he shot her dead. And they took him in, the sheriff's department took him in and interviewed him for 12 hours and then let him go. Even though this dude had just shot and killed his mistress, and he had a hit list of like 8 or 9 people. And so those people are afraid because he's out. But there are people in town who watch these videos who started talking to me about this stuff. And one of them was just like, mark my words, they let him out because that dude is going to commit suicide within the next month. The thing about this dude is that he's a snitch for the sheriff's department. He's been a mole. He's gone on and tattletaled on all kinds of people for the sheriff's department. So he knows a lot about the corruption. And they're already saying that he has stage 4 cancer. But when you have stage 4 cancer, you're not running around fucking shooting people. You're laying in a fucking bed dying. You know what I'm saying? And all of this stuff is being talked about in town. Harlan is only 15 miles away from Erlang. Some dude, this whole situation has almost transcended my situation. But people are starting to wonder if the sheriff's department isn't setting it up so they can get rid of stuff. And that's the question. So if you are an investigator or law official, I don't even know the dude's name in Erlang. But Erling is what? A town of 500 people? I don't think the dudes are murdering their mistresses all the time. And it just happened about 3 or 4 nights ago. But it's all over. Everyone is talking about it. And they're wondering if the sheriff's department, that is known for its corruption, is trying to clean up its mess as best as it can. You know? Not saying that they set any of this up, but with this dude killing his mistress, I have always contended that Deputy Donovan that they had after me, that they were using to go after me with the dogs, he ended up killing himself a week and a half before that Erling, Iowa gas station explosion. And I've always wondered, what were they trying to get him to do to me that he chose death over? You know? Because it happened a week and a half before. So, and they lied about Erling, Iowa. I mean, obviously there's issues with the Erling, Iowa gas station. You know, the official report in no way matches up with what was reported that day by KETV. And all of this is being done. The sheriff's department out here is corrupt. They're known to be corrupt. But if I was an investigator, I'd want to go talk to that dude before he ends up dead, just to see what he knows. If he's a snitch, then he's used to snitching, you know? And there are people in town who watch these videos. And so, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, I think the dude is worthwhile to talk to if I was an investigator. Trying to find out the corruption. And figure out what the fuck. Because how do you let some dude out who murders his mistress and has a hit list of 8 people? You know? Interrogate him for 12 hours. Shit. You know? But whatever. You know? Anyway, if I was an investigator looking into the corruption of what's going on, I would go talk to him before he ends up dead. I just would. I think he might have something to say about the shit that's going on around here. This is the second murder in what, 6 weeks? You know, we're not known for a lot of fucking murders out here, but Chad Butler just shot some dude who shot his wife, and it's all kind of a bizarre situation out here. And there's not a lot of fucking murders, you know? I think the last one was Chad Butler, you know? Fucking gunning down some dude in front of his daughter who was unarmed, you know? It's bizarre, but it's all coming out. So if you go to the description and you click on that link, you can go to my blog and you can read what I've got. And now they're saying that Thomas Schoenberger is fired. And Johnny Dubb sent me this thing. Oh, he's fired, so now I'm in control. Basically, just go read it. It was weird, you know? And he ended it with as above, so below. And you're absolutely correct, dumbass. You're absolutely correct. Because heaven is now healed. There's no more fallen angels. There's no more spiritual principalities helping your dumbass side. No more of that. And thank you for Michael Aquino training me as a child with all of that shit at Offutt Air Force Base at Hummel Park, you know? And so when it comes down to it, Johnny Dubb, who I believe is Lucian Greaves, I think he's Lucian Greaves. He says he's not. I think it's fucking Doug. That Johnny Dubb is Doug. That's what I believe, because I've had so much fucking interaction. But whatever. Saying that Thomas Schoenberger got fired, first of all, I don't report any of you. All I do is fucking YouTube videos, and you all tell me how pathetic this is, and how it's not reaching anybody, and stuff like that. So which one is it? Is it I have all this influence and I'm making all of this terrible shit happen, or I have absolutely no influence whatsoever? Because both can't be that way. Hey, Susan. And so both can't be existent at the same time. I had nothing to do. Second of all, isn't Thomas Schoenberger supposed to be this fucking musician? So Johnny Dubb says, oh, I got Thomas fired, and now it's Johnny Dubb, and we're gonna have more contact with each other, but I have no need for a musician. So why the fuck are you know, what you admitted, dumbass, is that you're a fucking group, which is exactly what I've been saying. You're a fucking group. You're an army of idiots. And you're relentless. You're relentless. It sucks dealing with all of this, you know? However, when it comes down to it, nothing changes the facts that all of this is getting ready to end. I mean, I'm in Iowa and the skies are hazy. And why are they hazy? Because of fucking fires, because shit's on fire. So much so that it's a haze around the sky. People are having problems breathing, I guess. I just thought, wow, lots of humidity, but it doesn't have anything to do with the humidity. It has everything to do with the fires, because everything's on fucking fire. All of this shit is getting ready to end. So you guys are all focused on your fucking secrets, wanting to keep that child trafficking and all your fucking criminal activity secret, not realizing that you're about ready to fucking lose your soul. You know? No one's going to exist on this planet. No one's going to want to. And the longer it takes to die, the worse it's going to be for those people. And it has to be smoke. Why am I coughing? You know? That's the whole thing, is that the whole air is all fucked up. Because if it's that hazy and that's what the smoke is, and where it's coming from, is that coming from Canada? It's just everybody keeps saying, oh, it's smoke. You know? What's on fire that we're getting smoke in the skies, babe? This time is with fire. Everything's going to burn to a fucking crisp. That's all what's happening. Everything's burning to a crisp. And with the planet being tilted and it's spinning faster and the volcanoes going off, it's only a matter of time that one of those plates shifts and it releases pressure and one of those super volcanoes goes off. And it's an extinction level event. It's only a matter of fucking time. You know? It's obviously God. It's not them. It's God. We're at the end. And these dumbasses will convince you of anything else, to think about anything else other than your souls. And I'm telling you, you better fill your heart with love. What I do and my place in all of this sucks. You know, I don't suggest anybody do what I did. Because you know, even though I made the deal with heaven, I still did it in a way of how I was trained. So yeah, offering my body and soul to this whole situation, I get to take them in the dark, into the dark, where they're going to do to themselves in their dreams what they were so willing to do to innocent little children. And they're going to have a fucking eternity of that. And that's how this is going to work. And yeah, they're focused on me. Johnny Dubb, Lucian Greaves is who I think it is. Connected to Thomas Schoenberger. But if Thomas Schoenberger got fired, it's nothing I fucking did. It's his own shit, first of all. And second of all, he's a little fucking musician. So if Johnny Dubb took Thomas Schoenberger's place, but he's a musician and I have no need of a musician, then how the fuck does all that work? You know? What it is that they're a fucking group of organized criminals that need to be fucking brought down. Flat the fuck out. And that's why I've been at this for so many years. And they're about to be brought down. They're about to be brought down, and there's not a fucking thing they can do about it. All of their shit is just stupid. You know? If you were going to change the numbers on that protection order in Kent to make it a child that took out that protection order on me, if you were going to do that, why on earth did you make it a 1-year-old? Do you realize how freaking stupid that is and how stupid it sounds? And now it's done. So now if you change the date to something else, who cares? Because you sent it to not only me, but all of the cops. And I forward that shit to everyone else, you know? So people are supposed to believe that there's no police records of anything I've done wrong. But a 1-year-old took me to court and got a protection order out on me. And I'm supposed to be like, oh, you know? No, there were no kids involved. There are kids involved. There are kids involved. Because I'm fucking exposing the child trafficking bullshit. And those people that took out that protection order that I said were harassing the shit out of me, all those videos listed on that protection order, they never deal with that, but they didn't have, I never once mentioned anybody that was those two people that were listed, and they were boyfriend, girlfriend. They were listed on those protection orders. I didn't say one word about any of them in any of those videos, but only and solely dealt and talked about Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, who, unbeknownst to me, was living 23 miles away from me in Tacoma. So if there was not a connection, how is that possible? How is that possible? If the people that did the protection order weren't connected, then why is every video listed on there has nothing to do with that? Only and solely, I only talked about Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, who's using his Satanic Temple after-school daycare to help target the frickin' kids. You know? He has a whole history of shutting down survivors of extreme abuse. victims of extreme abuse. His whole history. His whole history. And he's working because Aquino was in charge of it. I don't believe Aquino is dead, but even if he was dead, all of his associates that he was doing it with, they're not dead. It's business as fucking usual, you know? And so this shit needs to be stopped. And Johnny Dubb, by your own fucking email, you're admitting that you're involved with a group. If Thomas Schoenberger got fired, it had nothing to do with me, but even if I had reported him for whatever, what the fuck was I going to report him to? You know? The law enforcement doesn't care. But I find that this whole focus of having me think that Thomas is now gone, because if you look at the shit that I put on those screenshots, you can see that that's not real. You know? Because it's just bang, bang, bang. There's too much stuff happening all at once. Focused on that very situation. It's not real. It's not real. But in town here, if I was an investigator looking into the corruption in fucking Shelby County, the sheriff's office, people involved in town, and you connected it to a meth operation, I may want to go look at that dude that they just released from jail after 12 hours after he shot his mistress in the head. Because he's a snitch. He knows a lot of shit. He knows a lot of shit. He'd be worth talking to. Can't be that hard to find. Erling's 500 people. You know? Big news right now. Fuck, show up. Ask around. Someone will fucking be able to help you. You know? I'm not it. I'm not Nancy Drew, but people come tell me, and in town, I have a platform. People listen to me in town. You know? They listen. They know what the fuck is going on. They're not stupid. So, as far as the hat that you guys keep talking about, I got this hat at a Goodwill 2 years ago and have never worn it. And so I just thought I would wear it today just because, you know? It's not something I'll wear outside. And it's, even though it's not hot, it's back down under the 80s, which is frost as far as everyone's concerned here, because it's been horrible. The sun is still intense, you know? The sun is still intense. You like it? It's like the only real cowboy hat. I have throughout my life, I've had hats that I've gotten because you pick them up at Goodwills, thrift stores. People get rid of hats. And a lot of guys around here don't wear hats. They don't wear shit like this, you know? So the stuff that I like, I can usually find every once in a while. It's a bit cowboy for me. I have several Indiana Jones hats. My favorite is the one that was Owens. It's my absolute favorite. And he hated it. He would never wear that hat. Me, I love that hat. And I thought the straw hat that he wore instead, that he chose over the hat that I have, was hideous. I didn't understand. He looked gay in that hat. And he was not by any means gay, you know? And I would make fun of him all the time because I was just like, I'm gay and I would never wear that hat. This big floppy straw hat. It's like some 80-year-old woman would be wearing on her head doing gardening. But, oh well. I'm still going to do a live tomorrow. I just wanted to come on here and point out that I think that Shelby County is, with the sheriff's office and all that, is trying to clean up their mess. And the best way to clean up their mess is to get rid of the people who could talk and expose them. And so I would go talk to this dude in Erling that just murdered his mistress. He's fucking home, you know? He's not in jail. But that's because people think he's just going to end up dying of suicide. They're saying that he has, the rumor is that he has fourth level cancer. But that's a big thing that they use out here. Is the the person has, this has happened before with someone that was associated completely with the chief of police of Harlan that was known as the biggest drug dealer in town. He was supposedly supposed to have fucking brain cancer and was dying. 4 years later, he doesn't look like he's dying, so it must have been miraculous. Jesus must have come saved him. You know? They're trying to tie up loose ends. They're trying to shut down everybody and be quiet. You know? The problem that I have with surgery and all of that stuff is they're all money hungry. And so they just fuck up all the time. Because they're in such a rush, and fuck, they don't care. They're that's why I don't understand why people would actually go like do plastic surgery and shit. You know? To get my teeth fixed, I have to have my jaw broken and pulled forward and then wired shut for like 2 months to fix it. Otherwise, they can't do shit. And at my age, what I've been told is it could cause chronic pain. Worse than what I have now. And so, fuck it. They can say whatever the fuck they want about my teeth. But the alternative is not really viable. So, and I don't have any intention of dating anybody. So, no one's going to have to be embarrassed by me being by their side with my terrible teeth. You know? We all have our fucking crosses to bear. Anyway, I'm not going to stay on here long. Hey, Chuck. I'm not going to stay on here long. I don't believe that Thomas is gone. I don't believe he was fired. If he was fired, he's supposed to be this little musician. So what the fuck does that have anything to do with me? And you tell me all the time that my YouTube video shit doesn't go anywhere and nobody listens and blah, 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 blah. But then on the same hand, I got Thomas fired because of my little YouTube account. And you guys are totally focused on me. You know? Fucking death threats, domestic terroristic threats. The shit that you guys do that I've been able to document is just fucking amazing. Amazing. And it all counts. It all counts. And so I just don't care. I just want this to be exposed. And I'm not going to stop. And ever. And I know that what I was trained to do as a kid works. I know it works. I've used it. I've seen it. I've watched it. I don't really care. It doesn't, what people's opinions are, it doesn't make any difference. And I am saying, heaven is giving them a war. They wanted to fight heaven. Now heaven is giving them a motherfucking war. And I'm just a soldier in that war. A soldier. Just one. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be here, but I'm just one. You know? But this child trafficking bullshit is not that fucking hard to expose. Anybody who looks at it with any kind of rational mind can see there's something fucking wrong here. Just by their own actions. They keep saying, show the proof, show the proof, show the proof. But that's what I've been doing for especially the last 2 years with the Dead Eyes at Cappy Club, is showing proof. Just taking fucking screenshots of their shit and posting it so everyone can fucking read it. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's easy to see. And so, by your own behaviors, and your own stuff, there's obviously problems there. And all I want is for this to be investigated. I'm not doing the investigation. Enough gets to me that I can actually point and say, look, I don't know who this fucking dude is in Erlang. I didn't know his mistress, didn't know any of them. But I do have a platform here in town, and people listen to me. And it's not mine. When it was said to me that they were going to off him, and he probably was going to commit suicide within the next 30 days, how it was said was, he said, okay, at such and such time and at such and such date, blah, 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 I said, and he said that. And just the way he said it, you know, he was right. He was right. It made so much sense. It's the only thing that does make sense, you know? And so everyone in town is talking, and everyone in town is talking about me too, you know? It's the best that I stay here because there are people in town who are on top of me now, who want me to keep abreast every day so that everyone knows that I'm still okay. Because people know in town. They know what the fuck they know more of what I'm facing than what I even know. Because I don't really even know this shit around here. You know? All I know is that it's bad. People want to tell me stuff and I can only handle so much. And I'm so able to tell people I have my plate full. So I don't want to know. You know? I tell people that a lot around here. Because they're all talking. They're all talking. And so if I was investigators, I would go talk to this dude in Erlang that just offed his mistress before he ends up dead. I just would. A suggestion. Just a suggestion. You know? He can't be that. I mean, it's not like people are fucking murdering their mistresses in Erlang every day. I wouldn't think he'd be that hard to find. Especially if you're fucking law enforcement. You know? I have my own shit. I am focused on this. I am laser focused on this fucking child trafficking ring. I am really, in a way, gratified because I believe if Johnny Dubb is in charge, I believe Johnny Dubb is Doug Mesner. And it's just fitting. It's just fitting that in the end, because that dumbass has no idea what's headed for him. You know? No idea. It was not a good idea to make yourself my nemesis, dickhead. Wasn't a good idea at all. And now you want to parade around. And you offered me any amount of money I wanted if I would just stop on Twitter as chief handler, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago? You know? And I'm supposed to fucking take all this seriously. So now this time you're going to get me, right? You know? But I find it interesting that all this shit is going down after I figured out who the fuck Sherilyn was with. You know? And now suddenly Thomas got fired and Johnny Dubb is taking over and blah, 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 blah. You know? The timing is not unusual. You know? The timing is not unusual. And so if I was an investigator and wanted to know the shit that happened in that's going in Shelby County, I might go ask their narc. You know, their snitch. I don't know if a snitch and a narc are the same fate. All involved with the fucking bullshit and still tells on people. You know? Me, I was never involved with this shit. I was an unwilling participant and have been pretty much this whole fucking time. But I had to make a choice to get involved. And I did. And I have been. And will. Until the end. You know? Till the end. And that end is coming for all of us. And there are a bunch of you that are not going to like where you end up. And again, 4 little words. I told you so. Told you so. Tried to tell you over and over and over. Tried to tell you. You wouldn't listen. Wouldn't listen at all. So you get what you get. Basically, you get what you get. And it sucks. You know? Nobody wakes up the day that they're going to die and be like, oh, I'm going to die today. It'll catch you fucking off guard. I'm just giving you maybe a second or two to maybe consider your fucking soul before that happens. But a lot of you fucking won't do that at all. No self-introspection whatsoever. Like the fucking dark. You know? Love the dark. And hate. And blah, 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 blah. I'm not God. I'm just telling you what's here. The dark is God. And God is here. And so it's only going to take one of these fucking super volcanoes to go before it becomes an extinction level event. Just one. And they're all having issues. They're all having issues. Every fucking one of them is having issues. So you can guarantee yourself that not one of them will explode when they're all having issues right now. You know? Gonna live forever, are you? I'm just saying, consider, maybe you might want to consider, but most of these people are just kind of dumbasses, you know? This child trafficking operation is getting brought down. It's getting brought down. And so, no, I didn't dye my hair. I don't color my hair. Oh, my phone needs to cool down. I'm just going to get off here. So keep all this in mind, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.